It's the Bilbrey and Clark Show. Two middle-aged troublemakers, no script, zero political correctness, and maximum opinions. If you're looking for safe, polite chit-chat, you're in the wrong place. So get ready for a no-filter dive into current events, pop culture, and maybe even a midlife crisis or two. With plenty of sarcasm, laughter, and perhaps a profound thought from time to time. Tune in, turn it up, and let's roll, because this is the Bilbrey and Clark Show.
Thought you were supposed to start talking.
No, on the intro, you're supposed
Hello. What?
You're supposed to say your name, then I'm supposed to say
Not
mine.
every time. That was the first time.
then-
I know who we are now. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody in the world watched the first episode, so everybody now knows who we are. We don't ever have to say who we are ever again. I'm Christopher Bilbrey.
I'm Rachel Clark, and this is the Bilbrey Clark Show.
No. There's an and in there. It's the Bilbrey and Clark Show.
Words matter.
I know. Words. All right. Well, so this is episode 2. We made it here. We've got to make it to one more episode, and we will be better than like 98% of all other podcasters. If we can make it to 10 episodes, we are in like the 1% of the 1%. So
does the one that we did right out of the gate that we're not going to air? Does
that one doesn't count? No, I'm chopping that one up. People have probably already seen pictures of it, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. If you've seen shorts, some various shorts, that's content from a secret episode that maybe you'll see one day, probably not. That was right out of the gate, but no, I don't think that one counts.
That was trial by fire.
That was a failure. It was like our last dry run.
Yeah, it was dry.
It was pretty dry. It was definitely dry. So, what do we have in store today?
So, I want to talk about, I'm sure that everyone or most people have read about the UK cheerleader. I think she was 21, was 38 weeks pregnant, hid her pregnancy. And then I think it was like the end of August, they got a call, went in, found the baby wrapped up in a blanket, in a trash can, and obviously was deceased.
In a hole in a log?
In a what?
Yeah. What? Well, in a blanket, in a bag, in a trash can, in a closet, in a hole in a log in the middle of the lake. Do we know why? So, first off, this is very important stuff, and people should talk about this. I'm sure people are very aware of this because by the time you're watching this, it happened like a month and a half ago, almost. About a month ago, right at a month, maybe a month and a week. And as I said last episode, eventually this will not happen. The things will be closer, but this is content that we've been talking about and want to talk about, stuff that interests us, which this is our show. So if it doesn't interest you, go make your own show. Right. That's the number one thing.
And don't mind my blanket as I get cold.
Where you are?
I am like an old lady. I get super hot and then I get super cold. And now
like an old lady. You could probably just get rid of that like.
I am an old lady.
That's what your daughter's
I'm a year older since the last year.
You are a year older now.
Yeah.
That is true. Happy birthday to you. Belated birthday.
Yeah, we have to point out that my shirt was on the last episode. If everybody goes back and watches again.
Yeah, right.
That it says I'm 49 plus, and it's got a middle finger plus
for one. Yeah. Well, I didn't think that we needed to talk about it because we had talked about it in the test run. But you'll have to go back if you didn't see that. It's definitely an interesting shirt. Maybe I'll cut that part out for the shorts on the other, so maybe they will have seen it by now.
And I can wear that for a full year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can wear it in another show and people know.
I'll change it to this for next year. And then it's a peace sign. So I go flipping them off to giving them a peace sign.
Yeah, or you could go to London and it would be perfect.
Oh, yeah, we
talked about this in the dry run. No, so, okay. Have you ever watched the YouTube channel Explore With Us?
No.
So it's a very interesting. It's like
Who
not
watches YouTube channels?
what? Yeah, right. It's not a true crime. It's more like, I don't know. It's very interesting. They're way bigger than us. They're way bigger than even my other show. It's a massive show. Explore With Us. And what they do is they get body camera footage from police events, not like the First Amendment auditor stuff, like actual like horrible events like murders and just crazy things. And they go through them and they get the police interview, they get all the police reports, if there's any kind of court documents, they get all of this. And then they've got this team of like lawyers and psychologists and body language expert and police officers and federal law enforcement officers that retired, all this, and they dissect it and they talk about it and they run it from like when the police first get called to the end of the case. And there have been a couple episodes on there where people have called because there are babies that are found in boxes out in the garage. Like the police went, there were like 7 different babies found in this garage. This guy had been in prison. He was like in prison for like 15 years. And his wife lived in the house and he gets out of prison. And when he comes home, they're divorced. It's his ex-wife now, and she's moved out and he's cleaning the house out. And he finds like these 7 babies. And the story goes and they find out that they were like all his kids. And the wife was like having them and like killing them and putting them in boxes and keeping them. And they like thought he was involved with it, but then it didn't. Like it matched up. Like some of them had happened before he went to prison. They obviously had to have happened before he went to prison because they were his kids and she got knocked up. But then there were some that happened after he went to prison. So she was doing this with other men. And like the weekend he gets home from prison, he always thought that his wife had miscarriages, but instead she was somehow giving birth and then killing the babies or something and putting them in the garage. So he like gets home, finds out he's divorced, and all of his kids are dead in the garage. Like this dude's like messed up forever. But then there was another one where there was a college age girl.
Messed up forever? He wasn't messed up for, I don't know, the first 6. It was the 7th
he
one.
He didn't know that. He didn't know. No. He finds them all. He's out there and he finds a box and he calls the police and he's like, there's a baby in there. And they go in there and then they keep finding new ones. They're like, are we going to find any more? And she's like, nope, that's it. And they're like, we just found a 3rd. And they're like, listen, lady, we just find 3 babies. Please tell us. Just tell us. And she's like, that's it. And they go in there and then they find a 4th and they're like, dude, what's going on? And ended up like there was like 6 or 7 babies, maybe even more than that. It was like prolific. It was wild. And then there's another one where there's a cheerleader and she has this baby. So this seems like more common than it should be. It's very strange. So what happened? I mean, you want me to read off on this story a little bit, or what you want to talk about? What do you want to do here?
I'll read off a little bit.
Okay, so taking everybody all the way back in time to September 13th, 2025, NBC News says University of Kentucky athlete is accused of hiding dead baby in closet. Now, the topics that we talk about on here are not always going to be so doom and gloom. Last week we talked about Charlie Kirk. This week we got
it seems like the way of the world that everything is gloom and doom.
It's just really bad shit going on right now in the world. So just bear with us. We're going to have some fun shows. This episode might need to be, we'll say a little bit of a trigger warning. I would say that this is not, I would say that we are like PG-13. Like it's okay for like younger kids, teenagers to watch. This is like not a kid's show, I would say. We're not we're not teaching you the alphabet or whatever.
I mean, my 8-year-old will be wanting to watch it.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, whatever. It's not regular kids. It's not for regular kids. So that's that. But I just want to give everybody a little bit of a trigger warning because we are going to be talking about dead babies and murder. So, and we're not like true crime or anything like that. So it just happens to be what it is.
Seems like we're taking that path.
Yeah, that's real strange. I hate true crime podcasts.
That's
So
the only podcast, that and Mafia.
that's
Oh my God, The Mob. I love The Mob. I'm obsessed.
I don't think this was a mob hit.
Or was it?
Yeah, right. That baby owed some money. That was cold. Okay. A University of Kentucky athlete is accused of hiding a dead baby in a closet. Laken Snelling, 21, is a senior and is a member of the university's stunt team. Boy, did she pull a stunt here. A spokesperson said it's not clear how the infant died. That's really strange that they went through the autopsy and they still don't have a cause of death, which Rachel and I were talking before the show, leads us both to believe, in our professional opinion, with Rachel's past life experiences and mine, would lead us to believe that the baby was so far decomposition had set in so much that they can't tell. They're going to have to wait on some testing of the tissues and things to find this.
Yeah, because I mean, from a coroner standpoint, usually, they'll look and see if the lungs have expanded, and if they've expanded, that means that baby took air, took a breath.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what those results are. So, 21-year-old University of Kentucky athlete arrested and accused of hiding her dead infant wrapped in a towel in a trash bag in a closet, concealed the recent birth, police say. University spokesperson said that Laken Ashley Snelling, a senior and member of the competitive stunt team, which is similar to competitive cheerleading, is who we're speaking about. Snelling, 21, was arrested on Sunday. Apparently have been Sunday the 7th of September. She was booked into the Fayette County Detention Center in Lexington. Police said in a statement she's been charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. Snelling was released on a $100,000 bond, according to court documents. And court documents say that she was placed on house arrest in her parents' home in Jefferson City, Tennessee, roughly 200 miles from where she was arrested in Kentucky. Snelling appeared in court on Tuesday, so that would have been Tuesday the 9th. She largely held her head down, didn't say much, and it's unclear right now as if she's hired her own attorney or she's being represented by a public defender. I guess we'll find that out at some point. Lexington police say that the arrest affidavit says that officers were dispatched to her residence on Wednesday, the 27th of August, because they had received a report that there was an infant dead in a closet. An infant was located wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The police said Snelling agreed to be interviewed and told officers that she had given birth and tried to conceal the evidence of the birth. Clearly. Fayette County Coroner's Office said Wednesday that the autopsy was performed. However, the findings are currently inconclusive. Extensive microscopic analysis are essential now to determine the cause and manner of death, the coroner's office said in a statement. Coroner Gary W. Ginn said the investigation is ongoing. Please keep the family and friends as well as the University of Kentucky friends in your thoughts and prayers. So that's the story. Take it away.
I mean, I think that it's, when you talk about it, happens more than people realize. I was thinking back. So whenever I was in high school, I was a competitive cheerleader. Please don't judge me for that. The last episode, you find out I was raised in a church, and this one, you find out I was a cheerleader. But we actually had a girl on, and I come from a very small school, 90 some people in my graduating class. And she was 8 months pregnant, cheering when we found out.
That's crazy.
And, she had cheered the entire time. So you go back to like what causes, everybody's like, how could they do that? And
did
then
she not know, or did she hide it?
she admitted later that she knew. She's actually deceased now. But
Jesus.
She she died of a heart attack. It was horrible. She's actually was a great person. But she said she didn't know for a long time, and then it was kind of, I think, denial. You know what I mean? Of I didn't know. And then later on it was like, okay, how did I not know? It's one of those, no, it can't be. And then so I moved out when I was super young. I moved out of my house when I was 17. And I lived with a girl, and her cousin came and stayed with us for, I don't know, a couple months. And she actually hid her entire pregnancy, hid the entire thing. Found out later on that, she was pregnant, like late in. And then my best friend she'll kill me for telling her age. She's 45.
Okay.
Is she? Yes. And she just had a baby in December and did not know she was pregnant up until she was 8 months pregnant.
Why? How? What? Why? How? Why? How?
Like with her, she was having issues, went to the gyno. They kept dismissing it, calling it pulled muscles. They put her on birth control. Like they did everything that convinced her she was not pregnant. And then after so long, she was like, listen, something. And she went and, because she assumed that they were giving her a pregnancy test, I believe. The doctor didn't, the family doctor didn't. And lo and behold, she's pregnant. So.
Has she had the baby?
Yeah. Healthy.
Baby,
beautiful,
okay.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it happens a lot more. And, and then people are so quick to judge of, how could they do that? Now, obviously the other three involved live births and healthy births. And, mom's still, raising the kids. They didn't give them up for adoption, but in situations like this, I don't know. I mean, what's your thoughts? And then I'll tell you mine. Let's go you first.
What's my thoughts about what?
What she did.
What's my thoughts about her putting a baby inside of a blanket, inside of a trash bag, inside of a box, inside of a closet?
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, it says she tried to conceal the pregnancy. Yeah, no shit. I mean, I think obviously there's some mental health issues going on here. Okay, so I want to be clear. I'm not making light or making fun of this. Both Rachel was in EMS emergency medical services. I'm a former police officer. One of the things that has drawn us together as friendship is we have both have very dark sense of humor, specifically when dealing with horrible things, tragedy, and it's not like it's probably not the best. I mean, people would be very off-put by a lot of the things that I would say or think or whatever, but it's a coping mechanism. That's how police officers and firefighters and doctors and EMS personnel and all that deal with things like this day in and day out all the time, because if you didn't, you would go crazy and it would be like 100% suicide all the time. And so it's a coping mechanism, and that's one thing I deal with things. And I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, so I have a strong belief in that. But I also just deal with things. My father's deceased, and so I kind of deal with that different ways. And I just I have a way of dealing with death and things like that. So please understand, I'm not making light of any of this. It is just what it is. If I make a joke or something, it's a coping mechanism and not me being an asshole. I am an asshole, but I don't want anything bad to happen to kids, and I don't want anyone to be hurt or whatever. And, we're just kind of dark people like that. But anyways, I mean, obviously she's got mental health issues. There's something going on here. I don't know why. I've not heard anything about her, but you just hear all these things about how kids are and a lot of girls in cheerleading in colleges today. It's like, was she a party girl? Was she not a party girl? Was the dad, did the dad know what's going on there? But, I don't know what the deal is. Like,
do you think that she deserved do you think the charges are appropriate? Do you think that they should have been
clearly?
Do you think she should be charged with murder?
Well, I don't know if she should be charged with murder. So something that a lot of people don't know is, so terminology and words matter. This is in Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky. It happened in Kentucky. So I'm only talking about things here in Indiana. I don't know the specific legal wranglings in Kentucky, but like in the state of Indiana, homicide is the taking of a human life. And there are times when homicide can be justified if you're home sleeping and someone breaks into your house and they've got a knife and they're coming in to do you harm and you shoot and kill that person. You've committed homicide. You're not necessarily going to go to jail for that or be charged or whatever, because that could, in that situation, it would be absolutely justified. Murder is the unlawful taking of a human life. Okay. So, they're going to have to determine through these analysis of the tissue and all of this, how the baby died. Was the baby born dead? Did something happen? They're going to have to tell me. So I can't make that determination yet. I can tell you.
Let's say that she did harm the baby and caused its death.
Okay. Yes, she should be charged with murder. No question.
Okay.
No question. If she caused the baby's death, let's say the baby was born, breathing, crying, it needed food, it needed care, and they chopped the umbilical cord and wrapped it up in the towel, put it in a trash can, in a bag, and put it in the closet. Yes. Put that bitch in prison.
What happens if the baby was born?
Okay.
Not healthy.
Needed medical attention.
And she did not get it medical attention.
She should be in trouble for that.
Okay.
No question. Now, there's obviously mental health issues going on here. They should run her through all of that, give her have her talk to counselors, find out, it might be something like where she's mentally unstable and she couldn't do this or make the right determination. And then that can be dealt with, but that's got to be dealt with in that manner. She should still have to go through that process with her going through the, she was insane at the time or whatever the deal was. But if she murdered the baby that was healthy, and if she gave birth to a baby that needed medical attention and did not seek medical attention.
So, what do you think gets someone to that point to do that? Do you think it's mental health? Do you think, so I'll tell you kind of why I'm asking these questions. When I was at the fire department, I went to the chief and said, hey, we need a baby box.
Yep.
And, he's like, this was Chief Miller. You have my blessing. I started doing some research and found out that there was actually a police officer who also was working on it. So we got together, combined efforts. We had a grant, somebody willing to pay for it. And we put it downtown. I had hoped that it would be a priority to get a second one on college campus, because people do not realize I got to meet quite a few babies. And one of them was from Muncie, was a Ball State student, we assume, well, actually, she went to the hospital. And that baby was surrendered. I actually, had been on calls where, and known of situations where mental health wise, the kids, I will not say what the end result was, whether it was suicide, attempted suicide, but a lot of times when people are in bad situations, like one girl, um, she couldn't go home because her family was somewhere in Asia, and she knew that they would cut her off. They would take her school away. They would do everything. And she was in a situation and didn't know what to do. I actually know Monica, who started the baby boxes. And I believe whenever we were the first one, I can't remember. I forget how many, like we were a certain number. But at the time that we put the baby box in, since they had started the baby boxes, no baby in Indiana had been dumped since the point of putting baby boxes in Indiana. That's impressive. People were utilizing them, so there was no cases of dead babies dumped in a river or dumped in a pond.
I see. Yeah, you mean,
you know what I mean?
They hadn't been dumped off. They had been put in baby boxes, but none of them had just been found in a dumpster or whatever.
Right. That people were using them.
Yeah.
And we also got phone calls of, like moms who had one was, a mom that was ready. She was delivering or had just delivered. And the support given to them of she wasn't quite sure what she was going to do yet. And so we were on the phone because she was actually near Muncie. But then she ended up driving actually to a different baby box and dropping her baby off, which good. I mean, that's a great thing. But then I look at it, so I'm like, shame on them. If they could have saved a life and, there's options and you can go deliver a baby and not be talked about, nobody know, and go about life, that's a great thing. But then from the stress aspect, UK is, when I was cheering, and this is forever ago, was known of that was the world's best. UK had the best cheerleaders in the world. So, and even the girl that hit it when we were cheering, what kind of stress are you under? Because we talked in the last episode, about like how people view public figures and, you're held to an expectation. Well, when you're from a small town, everybody knows the cheerleaders. Everybody's paying attention. You worry about making your school look bad. You're making your family look bad because everybody knows, and you don't have room for, mistakes like that. And I'm not saying a baby is a mistake. I'm saying
that
as a young person,
yeah,
that you're viewing that. So it's how much pressure are these young, like this girl under, and then you have to look at, you mentioned that you don't know if she has a public defender or an attorney. Let's say her family does not have money. She's on a full ride scholarship for stunt, and she knows that she'll lose it all if they know she has a baby. I mean, imagine that stress. We're all so quick to judge in society, but, and I'm not saying what happened is right, but in the concealing, and this is where I think back, okay, if baby was alive, and I think there was a baby box a mile, she had a baby box close to her.
Whoa, this lady did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because even without a baby box, it's 2025. Like in the state of Indiana, you could go and surrender a baby to the hospital or to the fire department or to a police officer without any question, and there not be, now you would know, and the police officer would know you by sight, whatever. So maybe people don't want to do that. They want to do it under anonymity or whatever, and just be totally unknown, which that's what you would use the box for. But I mean, you can do it without any question. Again, I don't know if that's the case in Kentucky. I imagine I could look that up. I'm sure it is. I'd be shocked if it's not.
Well, I mean, if they have a baby box, then they have the anonymity.
Yeah, okay. So then you'd have it. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying for a fact you've read this.
Most articles I read, said I can't. It was a close distance. So then, you have to assume then that the baby was dead. Let's just assume it was dead.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in a whole other situation because you can't give the baby up and be protected under HIPAA type situation. I mean, yes, you have HIPAA, even but if that baby is dead, everybody has a scanner page. Everybody listens to the scanner. If you call and you say, I just delivered a baby, it's dead. Everybody's going to know who's at your house. Everybody's going to know the situation. The coroner's going to show up. There's going to be a death investigation. And this girl is now outed and loses everything. That's a hard spot to be in.
You know, I guess that's right, but it comes back. It's funny that we talked about this last episode too. It comes back to kind of that thing I always say about my dad, who said, you
Consequences.
do whatever you want as long as there's consequences. I mean, I guess that's the thought, like, because here's the deal. I mean, from being EMS, if because let's say she didn't know. Okay, let's say she didn't know, because there have been stories. And sometimes these stories are just complete fabrications and they're just made up bullshit. But there have been true stories of a woman just doesn't show the way her body composition is. She's just, skin and bones, and doesn't get the baby bump, and she's sick but doesn't have bad morning sickness, and things change and nothing happens, and then one day she's using the bathroom and plop comes out a baby. That's happened before. So let's say that happened in this situation. And this girl's like, what? I didn't know. What in the hell? There's a baby down there. If the baby would have been alive and she would have been like, what is this? And she would have called for help, no one would have looked bad at her. Someone might have been like, oh, you got pregnant. That's bad. Maybe that, but chances are no one would have known. She could have given the baby up or whatever. But if the baby was dead, you call and you're like, oh my God, I just had a baby and it's dead. I need help. I just don't think that. And maybe that's naive of me, I guess, because I just wouldn't think, like, I wouldn't look bad at her and be like, you've done something horrible. I would be like, man, that's so sad. She's went through a traumatic experience.
Yeah, but imagine being on a college campus where girls are mean and it's gossip and, oh my gosh, did you hear? Did you see? And I'm not justifying what she did. I'm just saying,
I hear you.
People need to kind of look at it from a different perspective. And I'm not saying any of those things happen, but I just think we're all so quick to judge, and the pressure of being a cheerleader, a girl, an expectation. And then now you're on a college level of things. Everybody is watching, you're on national TV on a regular basis. So I don't know. I mean, it's just something else to think about, that we're all quick to judge. And if that baby was born dead, I do feel a little bit bad for her. I can't imagine.
Well,
the whole part of you literally, also, younger kids don't deal well with things. Imagine giving birth and looking at your dead kid. And the trauma, of just everything that goes on with that. And then what do I do? What do I do? And
abuse of a corpse. So I'm looking at, so she's charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant.
Which I did not know that was illegal. How can you have a baby box and then it be a crime to conceal the birth of an infant?
Let me go and look and see what that is. What the actual code is on that.
But do you see what I'm saying?
That seems it. I mean, maybe it's like something that's like, if it's done in the commission of a crime, Kentucky.
You're not boring, Bilbrey. I'm just tired.
Oh my God, get that out! It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, what? Why would it be 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Because we air at 3 o'clock.
Well, and obviously we're recording this an hour before we air, or 2 hours before we air. Dude, where's your movie magic?
I don't have any.
What the hell? What does this say? Criminal code. So, oh man, I get what you're saying. Man, I don't know. I think that, let's take a look at this. I think, okay.
And is abortion legal in Kentucky?
Is what?
Abortion legal in Kentucky? Because then we can slide down that whole slope of, she couldn't have an abortion.
Okay, so we don't know. It's been this long. We don't know a bit more information. There's no further information. You've not heard any further information about what's going on here?
I've looked. I've been trying to keep up on it, and they're very, very tight-lipped about it.
Okay, so as of June 24th, 2022, abortion is generally illegal in Kentucky. The state has a trigger law that automatically bans abortion in the event that Roe v. Wade is overturned, which occurred on that date. Exceptions to the ban: medical emergencies, obviously, ectopic pregnancy, fatal fetal abnormality. Abortion is allowed if the fetus has a fatal medical condition. Abortion is allowed if the pregnancy is outside of the uterus, and abortion is allowed if necessary to save the life of the pregnant mother, the pregnant female. I'm going to get into that.
Mother.
Yeah.
Pregnant mother.
Yeah. Kentucky's concealing the birth of an infant is a Class A misdemeanor under KRS 530.030. This crime involves concealing the corpse of a newborn with the intent to hide the birth or prevent the determination of whether the child was born alive or dead.
Oh.
Specific elements of the crime are concealing the corpse. The person must have hidden the body of a newborn child. Intent to conceal the birth. The action must be done with the purpose of hiding the fact that a birth occurred if the child is dead.
Right.
Okay. Intent to prevent determination of life status. Action must also be done to prevent others from figuring out if the infant was born alive or was stillborn. Conviction for concealing the birth of an infant in Kentucky is a Class A misdemeanor, which can result in a jail sentence of 90 days or greater and less than 1 year. Related information: Safe Infants Act. The law allows parents to safely surrender a newborn less than 30 days old to a staff member of a police station, a fire station, a hospital, or places of worship without fear of prosecution for neglect or abandonment. So I'm okay with that charge, because here's what's going to come down to. I think that these are probably placeholders. What's the other thing she's charged with?
Tampering with evidence, hiding a birth, and abuse
of a corpse. So I'm okay with all of these, and honestly, all of these things are probably minor.
Right. She's not going to do.
So it's not like she's going to do anything crazy. So in Kentucky, abuse of a corpse, KRS is 525.120. It's a Class D felony for intentionally treating a corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities, or for deliberately falsely failing to prepare, bury, or cremate a corpse after entering in a contract to do so. The offense is elevated to so it must have been an A misdemeanor at one point, because the offense is elevated to a D felony then if it involves sexual intercourse with a corpse. So watch out.
Oh, got necrophilia going on.
Yeah. So it seems as if, okay, so it was an A misdemeanor, and it's now a D felony. It's just recently been upsized to felony. Okay, and then tampering with physical evidence. Let's see what that is.
I mean, I think if she does community service, they do need to make her work in like a baby ward or around foster, something to make her see, something to hit home.
If I found out that she was around my kid after she hit a kid in a closet, I would kill someone.
Maybe then, like, dead kids working in cemeteries, talking. She needs to do like group therapy where the parents are talking about the loss of their kids. Or
I think we hide her in a towel inside of a garbage bag inside of a closet.
If the baby was already dead. I mean, that's just a panic moment. I feel like that not good decisions.
What's the bet here? Are you saying you think the baby was born dead?
I don't know.
No, but you got to give me what do you go inside your mind and think? What are you thinking we're going to learn? Putting you on the spot. Then we'll come back and talk about it at a later date.
That's a rough one. I don't think that we'll ever find out.
Oh, no. We'll know.
I think it'll be inconclusive, or it will be very questionable where both sides can argue that, how it's all interpretation of what the findings are. 38 weeks. She went full term. I'm going to say the baby was alive.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. The baby was alive. Baby was alive. I want to hear more. I want to know what's the deal with the dad? I mean, there's obviously a dad.
That was the debate. So right now, I think currently at the time of when this happened, she was dating a boy who was a college athlete as well. I don't think it wasn't UK. It was a different school.
Okay.
Prior to that, so people were questioning who dad was.
I don't know if people are, but I am.
Well, I mean, to the enough that they did go and get samples from ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Dad admitted that his son had done a DNA. They'd taken it in to confirm who father was.
And that would be really bad.
Yeah.
And you got to think, because there's grandparents, the parents of her. And look, I don't wish anything bad for her. I hope, I guess what my hope would be is that they come back and they find that she was going through something mental, that this was not something done intentionally. That's what I'll put it to you this way.
I hope the baby was born dead.
Yeah, that would be the thing. And that she had some kind of mental crack up and did this, and this was like a thing. Because if we find out that this was just a party girl, cold-hearted bitch going crazy, doing crazy, then
she deserves to spend a lot of time
to do it. Yeah, right.
In prison. I agree. I just want to play devil's advocate on, the what ifs, because there are a lot of contributing factors that everybody's just kind of quick to judge. Like when you instantly went to, well, is she a party girl? That was your first thought.
I didn't say that.
When at the very thumbs up. You do not have that superpower.
I don't know what that is. That's weird. I don't have it on that computer. I don't have it on that computer.
But I can do it.
It's so strange.
It's not going to do it.
Do it on my screen. Do it over.
How
much? No. Lift your thumb up and do it over here. No, over. No, on the other side. Yeah.
That doesn't go to you.
No, but it still does. It does on your screen, but okay. That's so weird. Do it right in the middle of your face, like in the middle of the
camera. That drives you nuts that I
do it. No.
It won't. It's like I think it has to wait so long before it'll do it again.
Okay, do it now. What? You can't do it. You gotta put it up that's so weird.
You're just doing that to make me look like an idiot,
Yeah, you're doing it. I'm not doing it. All right, so
you did instantly. The first things when we first started talking about this, you said, "I'm interested to see if she's a party girl."
All right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I instantly went to, dude, I bet she was under a lot of pressure. Doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? But still, it's just, a dead kid is a dead kid and it sucks.
Well, yeah, that's a bad thing. I mean, I get that was my hope in this is, like you said, that it was stillborn, and that she had a crack up and
freaked.
Because I hope she didn't do this on purpose. That's what I'm getting at. That's my whole thing. That would suck. The weird thing is that we're not getting any kind of word on when they think so the police got there on the 27th of August.
But they don't say.
We don't say or know when the baby was born. I'm sure she's had to have told them, but we've not seen that yet.
No, and on an autopsy, autopsies are usually done immediately, within the
Yeah.
next day,
Yeah.
very quickly, unless the morgue's booked up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they should have known an ETA of time of death and like how old, like how long.
It'll be easier for them to know. They'll get closer to the actual time of death, date and time of death, than they would maybe on the. I mean, they'll know within, I would say, a week or two of
But they
when the
should have
baby
known
would be
during
born.
the autopsy per the state of decomp
Yeah, sure.
that, hey,
Clearly.
this baby is 2 weeks old at this point,
Yeah.
or it's been decomposing for 2 weeks. So that's going to tell you, hey, the baby's 2 weeks old, or hey, this is just starting to decomp. So,
Yeah.
it's been there a day.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't tell you like what made them go there. Did she end up, so
I
that's
feel like
another,
I know.
but did she end up like freaking out and call? You don't know. Did she freak out and call 911?
Well,
And
in every other case like this that I've ever witnessed,
smell.
it's been the smell, obviously.
Right. But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
Hey,
There's so many
you're
questions.
not. What?
There's so many questions.
I think
So many things it could be.
I'm not gonna.
So many.
Well, then the other thing is, when's the last time she performed? And from everything that I saw, what I found was the last time she performed for the stunt team was April of 2025. If that's the case, well, okay, April, that would make sense, because then school would get out in May, and they'd be out for the summer, June, July, and they'd go back into school in August. So I'm like, what? Why would she have last performed in April? But for the summer break, that would make sense. So that's not as crazy. Now, like literally, I just thought that as I said it. I'm like, why would she have last performed in April?
How did she? Okay, so that I hadn't thought about that. How did she go home to her mother and father, who know her better than anyone, and them not pick up?
Maybe she didn't, because she's a senior,
She could have had an apartment and stayed.
Maybe she has a job there, so she's working. Maybe she didn't go home. But who's saying that they didn't know? Maybe they did know. I guess because you said you've seen pictures of her and you could tell she was pregnant.
And it definitely looked like she's pregnant.
Let's just find out.
If you are a cheerleader, you are in tip-top shape. And if you are a college competitive cheerleader, you're all muscle. And usually you're a tiny little girl. I mean, most cheerleaders are pretty petite people. And so when you're short like me, I'm going to say she was probably short. There's no room for a baby to go, so it goes out.
I'm going to put these up. I'm with the disclaimer that I don't know if these are true or not. This could be AI. One of them could be AI. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to put this picture up, and then I'll let you guys determine on if you think that this is something or not something, or if this is AI. To me, it just looks like it's kind of blurred out, but it kind of looks like too perfect, like, aha! So I don't know, but this is the first one. So this one I don't know. I don't trust 100%. So here's this. This is a picture of her. I mean, if this is a true picture, she definitely knew she's pregnant. There was no confusion. And like you said, and like other people have said, she's a small girl. She was fit, being that cheerleader. If her body's changing, she knows something's going on. So she could have been dealing with pre or postpartum depression, something like that. But if this is a real picture, she knew she was pregnant. There's just no question. So that's that. Now these other pictures that I'm going to put up, these are real pictures because they are on her actual social media, on her Instagram, that is still up. Blows me away.
Yeah, I can't believe that she has not taken her social media down. Can't believe it.
It's absolutely wild to me that it's still up. So, hold on. Sound's not being. So I'm gonna put this up. We'll see. I don't know what we're saying here or not. So here's this. Here's a picture. Now, to me, this looks like a maternity picture, possibly, but it's weird because apparently they're saying this is new boyfriend. This is a boyfriend that she's only with for a couple of months. So I don't know what the deal is here. Here she is. You can't really tell what's going on here. I don't know, man. I don't know what I think about this.
And also, when were those taken? You know, how far?
Looks like it was taken in June. So what are your thoughts about that?
She doesn't look very pregnant if she delivered 2 months late. You know, what was it, August 20 something? The end of August.
August 27th.
And that was June what?
18th. July.
August.
Man.
She doesn't look very big there if she's 7 months pregnant.
And then the comments down below, you know, someone's saying, you know, this is crazy. She still has her social media up, which blows me away. And I'm telling you, the people on here do not believe her 100%. They are just not believing her. They are. Oh, and people are looking. She titled it with 3 hearts.
Oh, okay.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I mean, you know, you could get looking into the thing real crazy and being like, oh, look, she, you know, because she hashtagged it, not like babies or whatever. She hashtagged it with couples photography, couple photo shoot. So that's really interesting. Here's her social media. Let's see. This was 6/25. And I don't know.
She's little. Was that her most recent?
It looks like it. It looks like that's her most recent. But all right, we got three hearts up here, so maybe that's just something she always does.
Mm-hmm.
She's pregnant here. I see her bump, they say. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uniform citation.
Officers were dispatched to the listed suspect's address regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. Infant was located wrapped up in a towel inside a black trash bag. Offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. Furthermore, the listed suspect admitted to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing all cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant who was wrapped up in a towel. In the process of cleaning the evidence of the birth, the listed suspect tampered with said evidence that proved she had given birth by wrapping the infant in a towel and placing it inside a black trash bag. The listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that it would outrage ordinary family sensibilities.
So
8/28/25 at 10:33 a.m.
Yeah, so initial report doesn't say that she said that it was alive or that she did harm to it.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Ah, that's interesting, man.
Okay. So
Well,
we'll have to follow that.
there we go. Yeah, we'll definitely follow that, see what we've got going on there, and we will keep everybody aware of what's happening in that case. So, all right, that then brings us to the second thing, and now this is definitely that's a trigger warning. What we were talking about there, that was a serious deal. This second thing is definitely a trigger warning. And I just want to tell everyone ahead of time that here in a little bit we're going to show a video, and people might say, "Well, why do you show the video?" And I'm going to talk about this because the other day I on my other show I played the video of the Charlie Kirk incident, and I am a believer. I said this on the show the other day that when John Kennedy was shot in Dallas on Friday, November 22nd, 1963, a couple different people, Secret Service and aides to the Kennedys, tried to get Jackie to change her clothes multiple times, and she would not do it. And when they swore in Johnson on the plane as they were getting ready to leave, before they went up there to take the pictures and do that, they all tried to get Jackie to change her clothes. And she said, "No, I want them to see what they did to him." And so I understand that these things can be graphic. I understand people have a hard time. That's the reason I'm letting everybody know there's a little bit of a trigger warning. I will not play it until I tell you, so you can have some time to look away or whatever. But we are going to play the video of this next situation, which is the stabbing of the Ukraine student on the North Carolina train. We're going to play this. We're going to talk about it. But this is just a very, very horrible situation. This actually happened on September 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, it all happened. Like everything happened, right? All of
right.
that.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, right. Basically at the same time. Very, very crazy. Yeah.
So what she fled Ukraine in 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
So has not been here long.
Yeah, had not been here long.
Was a refugee, comes over, brother, mom, her, I believe. Am I right? Dad was not here.
Yeah.
She is in college, into art, seems to like be very happy to be here in America, is minding her own business, gets on the train, subway, whatever it is, and on the subway, minding her own business. I think she even had earphones on, didn't she?
I think.
Just doing what you do.
Well, that's the thing. I always say they teach you as a police officer, keep your head on a swivel, sit with your back against the wall, looking at everything. It's very, very difficult to do. You got to train yourself to do it. But yeah, she sat down, never thinking. I mean, I don't even think she ever saw that guy.
No, she was the prime example of minding her own business.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Her name is Iryna Zarutska. Iryna Zarutska was just another passenger when she boarded the late-night Blue Line train after it pulled into Skylark Park Station, just a few miles outside downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. She wore khaki pants and a dark shirt. Her long blonde hair had been tucked up under her hat from Zeppedy's Pizzeria where she worked. Like nearby passengers, the 23-year-old bowed her head as the train continued on, absorbed by the phone in her hand. Zarutska, a refugee from Ukraine, had picked an empty row and sat in front of a man in a red sweatshirt, unaware of the two's imminent collision course. This is heartbreaking. Trying to help.
Heartbreaking is hearing you read this.
What?
I said heartbreaking is having to listen to you read
Yeah,
this.
right. In the days after the release of the video of the attack, the stabbing, and Brown's lengthy criminal history, including convictions for armed robbery, larceny, and breaking and entering, have been decried by the Trump administration and conservative politicians. I hate that they've got to throw that in. Yeah, everybody's going to bitch about this. This should be bitched about, and it shouldn't be a Republican Democrat thing. That's insane to me. Everybody should have a problem with this. And if you don't have a problem with this, and you don't have a problem with the fact that this man was still on the street, you're the problem. I just want to put that out there. This is not a Republican Democrat thing. This is a common sense. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles and Brown's family have both said the killing is in part due to failures of court system that allowed Brown to re-enter the community despite a record of mental illness, convictions for armed robbery, felony larceny, and breaking and entering. Ultimately, the paths of the two people fatally converged. A woman who escaped violence only face-to-face in her home country of Ukraine, only to face it in the U.S., and a man whose family members believe that he was failed by both the criminal justice system and the healthcare. Zarutska embraced U.S. life. Zarutska had a gift. Her mother called it an artistic gift. It wasn't her ability to sculpt or design clothes, though she loved to do that. Zarutska, who also had a degree in art and restoration from Synergy College in Kiev, often bestowed her art on family members and friends. Her artistic gift was what her mother affectionately called her ability to sleep for wonderfully long stretches. Dude, I also have this gift.
Me too. I am truly gifted.
Holy crap. A family friend told the news affiliate that Zarutska endured daily bombings in Ukraine, and the agony of not knowing if you're going to live or breathe another day really affected her. She fled with her mother and sister and brother and found a home in North Carolina, embraced life in Charlotte. She attended Rowan Cabras Community College and dreamed of becoming a veterinary assistant. I knew he was battling. Days before the stabbing, Brown showed up at his mother's house. Michelle DeWitt said her son, who was homeless and living at a local shelter, asked to stay the night. Later that morning, Brown's mother dropped him off at a shelter a few miles away from the station. She hugged him and told her son she loved him and said before heading to church. So did she not let him stay the night? She's like, no, I'm going to drop you off at the house.
I don't know.
That's strange. When she found out about the stabbing and his arrest, DeWitt couldn't believe it was her son because I'm sure he was a wonderful guy. Decarlos Brown had spent more than 5 years in prison for robbery with a dangerous weapon. When he got out in 2020, his sister said she felt she was dealing with a different person. He didn't seem like himself, Tracy Brown said. Her brother struggled to have simple conversations and couldn't hold down a job. He would sometimes become aggressive. Decarlos attacked his sister in 2022, she told CNN. He bit her and broke the hinges off her door. But the sister said she decided to drop the charges out of concern for his mental health issues. So did the criminal justice system fail, or did the family fail him?
I think if you look it up, he's been arrested like 14 times.
Okay.
And because when you look at the picture, it shows all of his mug shots in front of this girl. So, and then another big thing that are pissing people off is that in North Carolina, they have magistrates. I can't pronounce
magistrates.
Magistrates. And so you don't have to have a law degree. You don't have to be anything to be a magistrate.
Right.
And so that was who kept releasing him. So, to me, you don't have to be a judge to know that somebody is a danger to society. And if it's a mental thing, why? I mean, this bothers me because while this was a random one, and we can talk about it later, I had a cousin who was killed by her. She was leaving him in front of their child. It was in Kentucky. And there was every sign in the world they kept letting this guy out. I mean, he would offend and they let him out. He would offend and they would let him out. So, I mean, it happens all the time. No one is held. They're violent. They do things. They're getting arrested 14 times and ta-da, here you go. Take it out. Now go kill somebody.
Heartbreaking, man. It's crazy.
It is.
So, okay. We're getting ready to watch this video, and I'm going to tell you that there's really about a minute. I mean, so you're going to see the stabbing. It's kind of blurred out for the second stabbing, but there's really about a minute before it gets graphic. And when I say there's graphic, I mean, you're going to see a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood, a lot of blood. So if that bothers you, this video lasts for 7 minutes. I might speed it up at a couple places in because there's not much that goes on, but I'm just letting you know that just turn away for a minute. But what I would tell you is suck it up, do what you got to do. Let's watch it because we need to see things like this and people need to know what's going on.
And the things that I want people to watch when you're watching the video, look at the timeline of from the moment he did it. Look at the time frame of when one person approached her.
Yeah.
And then look at the time frame of when other people approached her.
Yeah,
and then we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. We'll go through all of that. So I'm going to bounce between a couple because I want to show you from the time she gets on, sets down, and what happens. So we got to kind of bounce between a couple. So just bear with me as we do that. I wish it was all together in one thing. I should have probably done that beforehand, but alas, here we are. Okay, we're going to put this up, and you're going to hear us, but you will not see us. I'm going to put this up bigly on the screen so you can see it. So you won't see us, but you'll be able to hear us. So we're going to see her walk onto the train here. Here she comes in, earbuds in, phone in hand. She sits down in front of him.
Minding her own business.
And she's tiny. Yeah, she never, pay attention. She never once talks to him. Maybe it's like it's rude. The reason he claims he did this is because she was reading his mind. That's what she claims. And I want you to see the other people on the train.
And look how close they all are.
And
she's a foot apart, 2 feet apart.
Yeah.
From most of these people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, she's very, very close. So this man right now, his hands are coming together.
By the way, the guy in the red is the guy.
With the hoodie up. He is stretching out a knife, and it's a fold blade knife. Okay, is what's going on, and it's just like a regular pocket knife. It's not a very big knife whatsoever. So, okay, I'm going to start this back up. He's unfolding the knife. He just unfolded it, and he puts it back in his head. Here he stands up here, and now this is where the video stops here. And I'm going to take.
I want everybody to look.
Mm-hmm.
None of these people lift their heads.
No, nobody looks at.
Know that he was going to stab. They would assume that he punched her for no reason.
Yeah.
Where is where is our society came that nobody even pauses for thought at this moment?
This is like the old thing that they always used to tell people in criminal justice classes about the lady that was in New York and she was being attacked, raped, and then killed in the street. And like 38 different people heard her, walked past her, was looking down from their windows on her, and nobody intervened. Nobody came out. Nobody called the police, and she laid there. She was attacked, raped, and killed, and nobody did anything. This is the new version of that, and it's absolutely sickening. So we're going to jump back in time here just a second as we jump to the video. And you'll see her sitting down before he's unfolded the knife, and here that is. So he's pulling the knife out now. He unfolds it. Stands up. Now,
Slits her throat.
It's not like he cuts and drags the knife across. He's got the knife like you're clutching it like you would as a killer, you know, and the blade sticking out of the bottom of his fist. And he's like jabbing it and jabbing a couple different things. And any of those people, I imagine, would think he was hitting her for whatever reason. Knocks off her hat. She looks up like she's totally in shock here. She is totally in shock. But you notice, like, it doesn't look like her neck is cut. Now, it might be down below her shirt. Maybe he hit around, you know, obviously with the blood, you're going to see he hit her carotid artery.
Is that a blood speck on her knee?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I'm saying, because you're going to see him walking and he's trailing blood, and everything that I've seen says, look, nobody's doing anything, even though he's dripping blood off the knife. He is not dripping blood from the knife. During this attack, and in most stabbings, a lot of vicious stabbings, the attacker will slip and cut themselves. He is actively bleeding. Anybody that has ever been to any type of a stabbing type of crime scene, you will know that there's a difference between cast off blood and actively bleeding. He is actively bleeding. He cut himself because everyone's like, he wrapped his hand up. He wrapped his hand up to stop his bleeding. That's what he does.
We're 11 seconds in.
All right. Yeah. 11 seconds right now. She bends up. She covers her mouth. And you can see that he's actively bleeding here. Now I'm going to take you away here because I want to show you now where he's walking. We'll come back to that. I'm going to show you where he's walking. So it pauses here because it doesn't show you the attack for whatever reason. We'll come back to that. And then it shows now it's going to, now he's walking. And you can see he's actively bleeding. And someone's telling him, and I know it's very hard to hear. You're probably going to have to go watch this on yourself to hear it. Someone's telling him, you're leaking blood, bro. You're leaking blood, bro. And there are audio recordings out there of people saying that at some point he said, I got the white girl. I got a white girl. I don't hear him say it in this video or any of the other videos that we're watching here, but I will look for that. If he says it, that's fine. I'll come back to the whole white thing here in a minute. But
wait, look backward too. So you're looking back where he's dripped blood.
Yeah.
And you don't see anybody gathering around her.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Nothing's happening there. You're leaking blood bad, bro.
This is after he said, I stabbed that girl, or I stabbed the girl. Oh, Bilbrey, we were looking. That right there's the guy.
Yeah.
That is minding his own business and ends up helping her.
Yeah. Now it speeds up. He's getting ready to get off. Okay. And on this video, we're only 29 seconds in. She falls over. Okay, we've got some blood here in the seat, and she's now fallen into the floor. No one's helping her.
And he's already dropped blood everywhere.
He's...
So anybody around should be able to see that there is some kind of injury.
Something is going on. And I think at this moment, she's kind of like, if anyone's ever, I mean, I hate to make it like this, but shot a deer, you'll have deer that'll kick in the last throes of the death throes. I think that's what's happening here. I want to tell everybody that we're getting ready to get, if you're squeamish and you don't like blood, you might turn off at this point, because this is for just a few minutes, because this is where it's getting ready to get intense.
And remember, there's a person that's sitting directly across from
her. And now there's a person standing.
Yep, standing over her.
Standing over her, looking at the blood in the seat, looking at this woman sitting. That woman gets up and gets out of there. That's the woman that just passed. She's like, I'm out of here.
And no one is taking this guy down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
Like, okay, she's dead. Like, nobody stands up to take this guy down, to do anything. There's another guy.
He's looking and pointing.
Now, like, remember the guy that I pointed out that was walked into the back?
That's him.
So he was not one of the people even standing around this girl when this happened.
Yeah. And listen, that type of blood that you're seeing there, this is so strange. It's very much like the Charlie Kirk deal. Like,
I'm gonna say he hit her carotid.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Had to have hit the carotid artery, and it's something that, like, if they weren't immediately there to stop the bleeding, like, she's close to bleeding almost too much at this point. Like, here soon, she's gonna bleed out too much, and there's just nothing you can do.
And if he did slit her throat, I mean, she may not have been able to talk to cry out for help.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, I guess, you know, we're 2 minutes in, and there's one person sitting here. You can see their foot's right here. They're not helping in any way. And I mean, I thank God, I guess, for this guy being there, so at least she wasn't by herself. But he's not doing anything. He's not helping her in any way. He's not applying pressure. He's there with her.
Right, but he may not be medical. He may have freaked out. Like, I would never judge anyone. And I think the reason why I say he is not in the medical field, when we fast forward, I'll point out, or when we get to the point of other people surviving. People are just entering the train.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
I mean, I would say that we're now to the point that there's too much blood.
Mm-hmm. And also good for this guy, because a lot of people will not touch another person's body fluids, worried of getting something. He did not care. He is holding her, getting her blood all over him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And that right there shows he's trying to wipe it up. No, he just doesn't. I don't think he knows any different.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
He does. It looks like he calls somebody at this point.
And it looked like 911. If you look, it was down and then up twice, and then. And also, all these people, nobody's calling 911. This guy calls 911, and he's taking care of this girl the best he knows how, I think.
We are 3 minutes in, and there's only one person helping.
And I encourage anyone to reach out to us, email us, let us know if you could think of any excuse why it's okay that no one's helping her.
I'm going to tell you what people are going to say. People are going to say, like, man, why am I going to get involved? I don't want to get stabbed in the neck and laid out on the floor. That's what the excuse people are going to be. Because let me tell you, I can answer that exactly. I can tell you that exactly. I'm somebody that I could not act. And I would be very torn. I would be torn between acting to try to save her life, do something, and I would be torn between that and taking that piece of shit down and keeping him there and holding him there. But I'm telling you, if you remember not too long ago where there was the man acting up and the guy stepped forward to stop
the airport.
craziness. Well, where did you say?
On the airplane?
Well, no, that happened. No, but there was a guy on a bus like this in New York, and the guy choked him out, and the guy died. And they arrested the dude for murder. And he's like, look, I was just helping people. I didn't want to get hurt. I didn't want other people to get hurt. And that he was found not guilty, thank God. But it stops these people from saying, look, I'm not going to get involved, because if that guy just stabbed her and killed her and I take him down and hold him and he gets hurt and he sues me, I don't want to be arrested because I'm in some city where, it's going to be this woke onslaught of like, well, we got to arrest this guy because he stepped in and he was white and the bad guy was black, or, all that stuff, man. A lot of people have been turned off of things. So that's why people are going to say it wouldn't stop me. But
I'm going to tell you a little story. I know this is going to shock you, but I was on vacation in October.
That does shock me.
Took Kendall to the Bahamas. It was my husband, me, my middle daughter, Kendall, my best friend, and her 17-year-old son. Okay. And we get in this car to come, like we'd Ubered down to like a neighborhood, like a local area to eat. And we're heading back home. I'm sitting behind the driver's seat. I can't remember who was up front in the front seat. My husband's either in the front seat or beside me. And he is a big, big dude. And then, Kendall, Ryan, everybody else is around. The taxi driver, and we came out, and the area can kind of be a little bit questionable of just, you can tell they're not as fond on, like if you're not a local, they were tourists. So we asked the people that own the restaurant, ran the restaurant, hey, is it safe to take a taxi? And they were like, yes, we'll walk out. We'll get you one. They did get us a taxi. Guy comes up, super friendly. We walk over to his taxi. We all get in. The taxi driver is talking to someone. And this guy comes out of nowhere, sits in the driver's seat like he's going to take off with us and hijack us. Guess what happened?
What?
No one did a damn thing except for me. I am literally around to choke this guy out behind, because I'm sitting behind him. I go to choke him out, and no one else in the van reacts.
And then what happened?
Then the taxi driver sees that I'm choking out his friend. He comes and runs and tells me, no, that's my friend. He was playing a joke. Like he was messing with the taxi driver. So it was
Jesus.
each other. He was playing a joke and I about choked this dude out. But on the other side of that, I do get it because nobody reacted. And afterwards I go, really, everybody? Like,
well, yeah,
really?
It's like
we see who the person is who's going to, not take this shit.
That's amazing. That is, I did not know that story.
Yep.
That's crazy. And unfortunately, the whole joke, the bit about the joke about you being on vacation was in the first the unwatched episode. So we'll have to talk about that at some point. But just everybody remember, she told a vacation story. So keep that in your mind. We'll talk about that at a later date.
I didn't talk about vacation in the first episode.
No, not in the first one.
We made it to 2 before I talked about vacation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going back to this video. I just want to tell you. So that's why I think they're going to say no one stopped. Like we didn't want to get chopped up either, too, or whatever. And look,
I just can't wrap my head around that.
Sometimes it's good. I mean, the police will tell you it's good to be a better witness and get information. But I'm not built like that. First and foremost, I always carry a gun or 2 or 3. So
same. That's
the situation there. But I don't know.
We definitely agree on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question. Okay, we are now, all right, right here. We are now 3 minutes and 55 seconds and this other little petite woman comes in, and she's the first person that acts like she knows what the hell's going on, and it's bad. It sucks that she wasn't here from the start. You know what I mean?
And
Maybe this woman would have had a chance if she was.
And this is where I was saying pay attention earlier,
Yeah.
because you will see at this point, this is what makes me think this guy had no medical training.
Yeah. And that she knew.
Yep. He starts behaving differently. She's giving orders.
She's
telling
demanding.
people
Yeah.
what to do.
Now, firstly, what I would have done here is I would have pulled her out of this very low, weird, smashed area. I would have pulled her out in the middle of the floor and had more room to work. And we see he's kind of taking the shirt off. I guess that instead of the tourniquet, they're taking the shirt to kind of apply pressure to stop the bleeding. You obviously want to stop this. I mean, this fire hose of blood.
And this is where I say the guy has no training, because if he would have done that immediately.
He would have done that immediately.
He's obviously told him to do it.
Man, her white shoes.
I was just literally looking at that going, man, I have slipped in blood so many times, and it is so slippery and slimy. How she is not flipping around, I don't know. And look, here's grandma or grandpa. I can't tell from this view. I'm going to say grandma.
Looks like grandma.
On the phone, like she's not afraid. She's not afraid of a random dude running around stabbing her. Like she's there to.
She's like, can I sit there?
Yeah. Honestly, with the lack of the way people helped in this situation, I am truly shocked that no one just stepped over this dead girl. They'd be like, hey, I just need to get my seat back here, man. All the other seats are taken.
The girl in the red did. Leaving.
Oh, yeah, stepping over leaving. But, I mean, I'm just not shocked. I'm surprised that there's not someone going, hey, can I get through here? I need to get to that back there.
Yeah, right.
And can I also just say, look at all the women helping.
Yeah.
More than men.
Oh, yeah.
You know, originally one dude, then that girl comes in and she's tiny. She didn't give a shit. She stepped right up.
Yeah.
But now, I guess, then the other guy. So it was two guys, but now a lot of women. But are they helping or are they just standing there?
They're like...
They could be taking pictures to put on social media for all we know.
I don't think that's what they're doing. It looks like I don't know what they're doing with this. Maybe they found her ID. I don't know what they were doing with that. I mean, this girl's gone at this point.
So we are how many minutes in, and they're now getting her positioned out?
Yeah, we're just now 7 minutes in. Man,
so 7 minutes to get her moved out of that spot. I mean, like, not that CPR would help, but, you know, like, nobody did CPR. Nobody.
Oh, yeah. I would assume the CPR in this would be bad, would it not?
Well, but, I mean, if somebody doesn't have a pulse.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'm saying just a layman, you know, of someone who wouldn't know.
Yeah.
When you see somebody, yes, you would try to stop bleeding. But once again, even if you forget all of that, you're like, oh, wait, they don't have a pulse. Like, none of those things are done. I mean, I'm guessing the girl that came in was probably a nurse and was like, yeah, there's nothing. Let's get her out. And I don't know.
Yeah, that is...
It's heartbreaking.
It's absolutely, yeah. And so there's all this weird ass talking about worrying about whether or not this guy said, I got a white girl. I don't give a shit what color she is or what color he thought she was or whatever. What does that matter? I mean, to me, that matters nothing. That I don't care that he's black. I don't care that she's white. I don't care that she's Ukrainian. I don't give a shit about any of that. And the fact that that's been so much of the conversation is crazy to me. And
The part that I have a problem with is all of the piece of shit people sitting around not doing a damn thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I got a major problem with that.
Yeah, you know, there can be a case made for someone not doing something if they're just like gonna be totally freaked out and make the situation worse. Sit back, be a good victim, but get on your damn phone, call 911, do something, go tell the front of the train, you know, do something. You know what I mean?
Your sweatshirt to stop the bleed. Do anything.
Right.
Do something.
Right. There's things that could be done.
Don't step over her.
Yeah, right.
Because you're going to be late for your bingo or gaming or Starbucks, whatever it is. I have a problem with that.
It's very crazy, and it's you know, it's heartbreaking to think that this man should probably be in prison somewhere or be in some kind of mental institution. You know, good if he's got mental issues. Let's do what we've got to do. If they're causing him to do crime, you know, let's determine what needs to be done there and deal with that. But you know, it's also sad that the sister had him on, you know, some kind of domestic charge or maybe burglary or whatever, and then she drops the charges because, you know, well, he's mental. Well, you know, I hate that whole idea of them saying that she dropped the charges. I don't know how North Carolina works. In the state of Indiana, the only person that can file charges is the prosecuting attorney. The only person that can dismiss charges is the prosecuting attorney. Now, if the witness says we're not going to cooperate, you know, that might be difficult, but
unless it's Delaware County, and then they still do it. But anyways,
they do what? They dismiss the charges? No,
they don't. Go on.
Yeah, no, I would never dismiss the charges. Straight on, forward ho. We'll fight that out at some point, I would imagine. I can't wait to do that. That'll be such a good fight.
That is one thing that you and I do not agree on. Is
oh no, there's a lot of things.
County's prosecutor.
So I don't know what I mean. What's your thoughts here? On the guy.
I believe he's been arrested like 12 or 14 times.
I don't care about the mental health at this point.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, robbery is not mental health.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, of all of the things that he's been arrested for, robbery is not typically a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Now, what he did there, like total act of violence, random violence, and also like no hesitation. That guy didn't even look around to see if anybody was watching him to do it out in public like that.
Yeah.
That, I think he is the poster child for mental health. When they say that he came out of prison and changed, I was like, was he in Henry County? Was he Jason Bertram? Because that's the crazy, you know what I mean? Like, it changes people. That would screw anybody up in the head. And that's not like a joke. That's a serious.
Sure. 100%.
Can change people. But it's how do you. Oh, well, I guess I should say this. Did you see that all of the rich people are spending millions of dollars to put her up in Times Square? On the big billboards.
Who up in Times Square?
That girl, her face, so that she's not forgotten. People are outraged. So they're spending millions of dollars to put her face up everywhere.
That's good. I mean, I guess.
And then the rest goes to her family, I guess. So, I mean, it's definitely caught attention. You can't say that it's not. You know, people are like, where's the outrage? Well, I mean, there is outrage. Her name's going up on billboards. Her face is going up on billboard. I believe it's going up in New York, which really doesn't help her in North Carolina. You know what I mean? That's where it happened. But it's just bringing attention to it.
Keeping attention to it. But what we need to be worried about now is making sure that this guy is prosecuted to the fullest extent of what he can be prosecuted to. If he's got some kind of mental issue, deal with that, but get him off the streets. We have to make sure that he cannot hurt another person. In my opinion, it sounds like he's done enough to where he should have already been locked up to where he could not have hurt this woman. But unfortunately, that's how shit goes. And
I
now we
wonder
have to
if
stop him from hurting someone else.
I wonder if it was the same magistrate that let him out every time. I'm interested to know
That would be
how
shocking.
many, if it was different people every time, if it was the same person multiple times. Like, that's all good things.
Yeah, that would be really relevant to
say
know
a
that
lot.
stuff. Yeah, I'll have to
Because
look
if it
into
was
that.
the same person over and over and over again, well, then they probably need removed.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Well,
But it
yeah.
just goes back to what I said earlier, like in the last episode of why can no one just be a good human anymore?
Yeah.
It's so hard to find someone that is just a good human. You know, even of all of those people on that subway, not one person. I mean, it took how many minutes for one person? They could.
Yeah.
That one dude was more concerned about the guy going, "Hey, you're bleeding."
Yeah, right. That's
Well,
right. You're leaking blood. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how do you get to that? How do you get to that in life? And he may not know, but I mean, just in the I don't know.
He may not know what. That guy may
was
not have
sitting
known that she was stabbed.
right because she kind of slid down. If he didn't see her, because it did take a little bit. You know, I mean, where he was sitting, he may not have seen it.
Yeah.
But trail of blood, and how is nobody freaking out? Like nobody even. And this is the thing too. Like, okay, let's say that nobody felt comfortable in acting because they didn't want to get hurt, right?
Yeah.
If that is the excuse, why didn't they get up and run?
Yeah, right.
They didn't fear for their life, or they would have got up and hauled ass to get away from that guy. But they didn't even pause for thought. So I call bullshit on that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's the case because they would have got up and ran away. Or went to the back to hunker. You know, I don't believe that they were just like, whatever. Not my problem.
That's just I don't understand that mentality. And I would be interested to know what audience members say. If you were in this situation, God forbid, if you were in this situation, you know, what would you do? Would you call 911? Would you sit there? Would you would you act? Would you not act? And people, people never know because they say, yeah, I would act, but then shit hits the fan and they don't, or vice versa. People who say I would never get involved, but then shit happens and they're the first one, to do it. It just happens, it depends on what goes on in that situation. But I've always said that's very interesting to me. Am I that way because I have been experienced? I've been a police officer and had that training and done that for so long. Or did I do that because I've always been this way? I've always been the kind of person that when I was a cop, I have been in a situation where I have made so many, what I would consider pretty major arrests, like off duty, because shit would fall into my lap and something would happen. One day I'm driving down the road with my grandparents. We had just went and ate. I think it was around my birthday. I'm off for the day, and we're driving downtown Muncie. We're right by the county building. We're on High Street. We're on High Street at the light there at Jackson, right by the MITS bus station. And I'm sitting in the front seat of the van, and I'm looking. I got shorts on, and I've got flip-flops. And I see this man running, and it looked really weird. My grandpa's like, look, there's a guy running. But he wasn't running with his arms because his arms were handcuffed behind him. And he had been arrested by one of the community corrections people, and he had popped out of the car, and he took off running, and the community corrections guy was like still in the car. And he was like right in front of the van, and I had my gun on me, and I have my badge and my ID in my back pocket. So I jump out of the car. I tell my grandparents to call 911. I jump out of the car, jump out of my shoes because I was in flip-flops, and I take off and tackle the guy and hold him there. And the guy finally gets up, and a county deputy comes, So like I got that guy. I was coming home. There had been a string of burglaries at one point, and this guy went in the house with people there, and I was driving home off duty, and we'd went to Walmart and saw, like, got the guy. We got a picture of him, but we didn't know where he was or whatever. I'm driving home and just driving down a random road, and here the guy is that I'm looking for is walking in front of me, just walking down the road. And like, so I like pulled up and I called, got on the phone and called, and I stop and I get out and I start talking to him and get him handcuffed. Like, just shit like that happens. And so like, I'm somebody that the whole idea of keeping your head on a swivel, that kind of thing, being observant and being aware. But I was always like that as a what?
Get you in trouble.
Yeah, it does. It does get you in trouble. Yeah, right. But like, you know, I'm the kind of person, if I'm at the gas station and I hear a woman screaming, I'm not just going to continue filling up my gas and go on. I'm going to look and see what the situation is, you know. And I've always said, like, you know, the Uvalde school shooting where all those cops just did nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that is fucking maddening to me. And I just can't understand that.
So you do always ask those questions, but I actually know the answer for me. I was a single mom. The girls were like 2 and 3. I'd had a feeling somebody was breaking in my house or like weird things would happen. And I'm not that person that's like, oh, like I'm not afraid to be at home, but I was certain that somebody was coming in my house. One night I hear it. And so I called 911 and I had the shotgun out and I was at the door looking, waiting for him to come in. And it was funny because Kelly Dean, the dispatcher, she was like, or was it her husband at the time? I can't remember. One of them said, well, you know, we have no doubt whether or not you would have shot somebody. Because I was ready to, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But you do notice that when I just assume everybody's like that, kind of like in the Bahamas,
Yeah.
you know, where I step up.
Yeah.
And so we were in Hurricane Ian. And when we were down in the hurricane, the panic of people when the surge came and we were all trying to get to safety and we were going to strangers' house.
You weren't down there during a conference, were you?
What
were you doing down there?
I was on vacation.
Okay. That's the second time you. Okay.
That was years ago.
What?
That was years ago.
Yeah, there's been so many vacations since then, but yeah.
I wonder. We're gonna have to count.
I was wondering if, like, I was thinking back when it happened when we were talking, I'm like, man, maybe this will like scare her out of going on vacations. Nope. You like doubled down on it.
You only live once.
Right. And when I die, it's gonna be on vacation.
Right. But then, you know, the way people reacted was true hysteria.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it was hysteria.
That was crazy.
And I'm all like, okay, here's the game plan. You know, we're gonna get this. I'm like, get this. Okay, let's go over. Like, we've got to decide now. People definitely don't know how to react. Whereas Ryan, my middle daughter, we were in a circumstance about a year ago, actually almost exactly a year ago. Large fight going on, you know, like tension, crowds, guns. And she is literally standing around clueless, like close. And I go, listen, you get your ass to the door, you know, like, when this happens, you don't mess around. You get to a door where that you are ready to get out. You do not stand around. You don't put your back to a door. Like, you get the hell out. And she's like, what happens, you know, when we got somebody? Well, you let them know we're going to be outside waiting for them. Like, we're not.
What happened when you got somebody?
We had some people with us. So, you know, she was like, well,
hey, man, when the shit hits the fan, it's every man for themselves.
No, you don't leave your bros.
No. Right.
I mean, you can
right. But yeah, I mean, you know, listen, within reason, man, meaning like I wouldn't, but if you're somebody that's just don't know, if you're the person that's just standing there looking around, you probably need to get to safety, start making calls, start doing things. You don't need to add to the chaos. I guess I'm saying, if you don't know what you're doing, don't make a situation worse. You know what I mean? if you just are totally clueless and, like, so that's the reason I don't know. In that situation with the woman, it's just heartbreaking seeing all those people, because it's like out of everybody here, 2 people couldn't come forward and help, within a few seconds, 20, 30 seconds of falling on the floor. You stand up and because look, I don't give a shit what happened. If they didn't know he stabbed her or whatever, you cannot tell me they did not notice that he stood up and was whacking her in the head. It had to have made noise.
Yep. People suck.
What?
People suck.
That's absolutely true. That is exactly true. So we'll have to follow this and see what goes on, and see what happens. Yeah, I was watching a mortician on TikTok talking about the Charlie Kirk situation, talking about the fact that where the bullet hit and how the bullet hit and the size of the bullet, obviously, it more than likely, it hit his carotid artery, but it more than likely also did traumatic damage to maybe his spine. So, if it would have hit in C3, 4, 5, they say C3, 4, and 5 keep you alive. Yeah.
That's what controls your breathing, everything, that if you get hit there, which is right back in this area, your chances of survival are.
Yeah. And so obviously when the bullet hits, you're bleeding from 2 locations. Your heart's pumping the blood up and out, and you're bleeding from your brain out. So you've got 2 different fire hoses leaking blood, which you could tell in that picture, in the video of it. But that's going to drop the pressure in your brain, in the blood to your brain, and he was dead before he hit the ground. You know what I mean? So that's the one good thing, is that, like, he didn't feel it. He didn't suffer. I would say it didn't look like she was suffering. Like, it looked like she was in complete shock, and then she was out. And so, if there are any kind of silver linings here, that these people didn't suffer. What?
You have to look for the positive. And that's
that these people didn't suffer. And so, it's also scary because it's like over that quickly. She just got off work, probably bitching about work, wanting to go home and thinking about all the shit she's doing tomorrow or whatever, and had no clue. He had no clue what hit him. She had no clue. You know what I mean? And it's just like over. So, I don't know. You got to be ready for that kind of stuff.
I just feel like if they're going to charge the mom, of the UK for not doing, like, hiding a corpse, they should charge all those bystanders for not stepping up to, I know they can't. It just bothers me.
I hear you. It definitely bothers me too. I feel you. I understand. But yeah, that's.
What if that was your mom, your sister? Like, I just, you know what though? I've lost so much faith in people lately that if it was their mom or sister, they probably also would stay.
Right. Take videos, take pictures, put it up on TikTok first or whatever.
I don't get it.
Not do anything. It's crazy. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So I promise you guys, it seems like this has like been the Doomcast, like the last 2 episodes. It's not always going to be like this. These are just a couple of things that have all happened right at the same time, right around when we were recording these episodes. And so we definitely wanted to talk about them. Maybe we'll try and see if we can have like a little bit of an upper next episode, or maybe we could do a little bit of a kind of an intro, kind of slow or wheels a moment, kind of do some introductions and talk about kind of what we're hoping for the show. I do want to say that we want to hear from you. We hope that you guys are involved with getting a hold of us. And if you are interested in emailing the show, you can do that at bcshowdump@gmail.com. That is bcshowdump, all together, at gmail.com. Email us. Let us know how much you hate the show. Let us know how much you love the show. Give us ideas of what you want us to cover, look into. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us happy birthday, sing a song, do whatever you want to do. Let us know if you have thoughts on the shows that we've done so far. If you want to follow us on Twitter or X, you can find that at x.com/what?
/
Yeah, / Bilbrey X Clark. Okay, that's there. Facebook.com / Bilbrey Clark Show. If you are interested in continuing to listen, but you're like, I don't have time to watch, I'd like to listen in the audio podcast format, you can find us at Bilbrey Clark Show .fireside.fm. That's bilbreyclarkshow.fireside.fm. You can also find us on your favorite podcast hosting sites like iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Amazon Music, and any other kind of podcast platform that you like. Obviously, yeah, absolutely everywhere. Obviously, our YouTube channel is youtube.com / @Bilbrey Clark Show. We're going to continue dropping episodes every Saturday at 3 p.m. And we are interested in what you guys have to say. Please go like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. That would be fantastic. Matter of fact, I think I can even put something kind of cool. Look at this. Do this thing. Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Tell a friend.
Let us know. Comment. What? Tell a friend. Share the show with everyone you know. That's the big thing. Yeah, help spread the word. And you got anything else?
No, I mean, I will tell, since we've talked about some bad things, I'll close with something funny that I think's funny. My husband will not find it funny.
Uh-oh.
I feel bad for him. So we were driving down the road the other day, and he was wanting to give me a compliment. And he said, babe, I want to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I was doing research and and I'm going to say talking about job, women only make X, only a certain percentage of women make X amount.
Yeah.
And, and he was like, so, I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. How would you take that?
Well, if I was a man or if I was a woman?
If you were a woman.
Well, I would probably be like, rah, 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 rah. No, I would be like, I would say, well, thank you. How did you take it?
Well, I mean, at the time I was like, thanks. Well, then I'm telling you, the stress of Charlie, everything that's gone on.
Yeah.
You just get worked up on the inside. I think everybody is that way right now. They're worked up and they're just on edge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got thinking about it and I was like, well, that's bullshit, because I guarantee that I want to know how many men make that much money, that hit that percent. By the way, it's 2.5 times. So then I'm just instantly pissed off because women don't make what men make. And it's been a whole couple day thing of just me fired up and pissed off.
Jesus.
It's just, so anyways, I've clearly lost my mind. I've got a lot of anger build up, a lot of stress. So this Charlie Kirk death has clearly caused a lot of tension for everyone, that my poor husband, just trying to be nice, gets his head bit off.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah. And as I think as we go along and get more comfortable, we'll be talking more kind of about at points our personal lives and different things. And Rachel really has an interesting life. So it'll be interesting to kind of dig into all of that. And
are we going to dig into it?
Yeah, dig right into it.
Why do we want to do that?
Yeah, right. I think I forget. There was a specific question that you asked me during our dry run, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I remember it. That would be a great question for me to ask her in return. But I'll have to go back and find out what that is exactly and find out. But yeah, we've got some good content. If you're like, man, what is this? They've not talked about anything. This is not interesting. We hate these shows. All right, we figured we'd disappoint you. What?
Email us and tell us.
Let us know how horrible it is.
Ideas.
Right. Give us the good one. You can be an honorary producer if you give us a good idea that you love. Now, listen, it is what it is. We're gonna grow. There's always some growing pains. I've been broadcasting. What? I
think the shows have been fantastic.
I think they've been great. They've been wonderful. If you don't like them, screw you. Yeah, right.
I also say that with I've told you from day one, I've never expected anyone to listen to us. I truly do not believe that anybody will listen.
Well, I have
even my mother.
Well, yeah. She'll have to watch one time to determine if you're a loser or not.
We already know what she thinks. We know the answer to this.
Right.
I'll just put this right here, right now.
Yeah, she's still a loser. My daughter's 50 years old, and she's still a loser.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, she's not wrong, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about this. All this time, and you're still
Saturday.
recording the show from her basement.
I'm not in my basement.
No, in your mom's basement.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I mean, I am 50 years old. It's on a Saturday night, and I'm looking at your
Yeah, right. What kind of nonsense is this? You mean it's almost 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon?
Right.
One of these days we'll get it.
Yeah, we'll never get it.
No.
We'll never get it.
Never.
Ever.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you all next time. Are you going to say bye? I specifically didn't say bye because I was waiting on you to say it. I said next time. Now you say bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
You're still not going to say bye.
That's a wrap for the Bilbrey and Clark Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and or follow, depending on the platform you're on. Follow the show on X at BilbreyXClark or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bilbrey Clark Show. And email your hot takes to bcshowdump@gmail.com. New episodes drop every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, X, and all podcast platforms, including the home site at BilbreyClarkShow.fireside.fm. That's going to do it for the Bilbrey and Clark Show. So be sure to share the show with everyone you know.